All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Well, we're having ourselves a party, a hearty party. I had a chance to meet these guys at the Kowloon restaurant a couple of weeks ago. Great time there. It is the TNA champions, future Hall of Famers. One of the best tag teams of all time, if not the best tag team of all time. It is Matt and Jeff Hardy joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Guys, how are you tonight?
We're very good. Thank you for having us. And you're right, man. They're the word on the streets is they're calling us the goats nowadays.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah, they said we're the goats. I don't know. That's just the word on the streets.
Listen, one of the best of all time. I want to promote a lot of stuff that's going on. I know you guys have a big event. I think you might even be at Fenway Park tomorrow. Is that correct?
We are. We're throwing out synchronized first pitches.
Yeah. So I will tell you. Have you guys ever thrown out a first pitch before?
Yes.
You have. Oh.
We have. We've done it a couple times.
Well, yeah. Hang on one second. I'm gonna get. There we go. Here, let's pop this one up here for you. Where did you guys throw your first pitch?
Hello. We were at the Minnesota Twins.
Whoa.
Was the last one we did, and then the New York Mets.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you been to Fenway Park before?
We have been to Fenway Park. I remember we went there several years ago because I was in awe of the big green monster.
So last time I saw you guys, Jeff, you autographed a guy's guitar, but then did a nice little painting on his guitar. So if you go to Fenway, I hope they allow you to go into the green monster because you can write your name or put. Oh. They also have the pesky pole out there, so maybe you can tag that up there, but it stays like that forever. So they have signatures going from, Babe Ruth's signatures in there. It's going way back. But hopefully they allow you to go in the wall or in the monster.
Oh, yeah. I'm very proud of my autograph, man. It's kind of legendary.
Yeah, absolutely great work. So you guys were on a media tour this week. I know I had some other friends. I know my buddy James was talking to you guys. We had Mike.
Yeah.
I know was talking to you guys earlier. But Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it's a big
one.
It's going to be a massive one. October the 12th, 2025. For one final time, the Hardys face off with Team 3D.
How did it start? Because I watched the Slammiversary. Mm-hmm. Was that a surprise? Was it? I know nowadays I don't know what's kayfabe anymore and what's not. But you guys won the titles, and I want to get into how you won them. But was that planned? Was this a surprise? Was this something that maybe was in the works? How did all that come about?
We had no idea, man, that Bully Ray was going to come out there and make this challenge. We had no idea whatsoever. I was just on a high from the cable ladder and winning the tag team titles again. But it was a complete surprise.
It's so funny because obviously we have been friends with Bubba for a long time, but whenever that music hit and he came to the ring, we had no knowledge of it. We knew there had been talk about possibly doing one more Hardy's Team 3D match. He showed up, and I think that happened because they wanted to get genuine, authentic reactions is why that went down like it was.
Now, what I loved about it, you guys have been known for Team Extreme or ladder matches or things of that degree. But the coolest thing, I actually asked you about this, Jeff, when I saw you, but the way you guys won that match was, I think it was like a catwalk ladder or some sort of, but it was different.
Yeah.
All the ladders, some of them were broken, came right down from the top. You climbed it, grabbed the belts. Where did you come up with that idea?
Oh, man, I've been thinking about that since TLC 2, I believe. I'd seen the guys working on the light structures up there and climbing those ladders. Like, man, that would be cool if that was incorporated in a ladder match. And just we never brought it to life until here in 2025. Tommy Dreamer and TNA helped me bring that thing to life.
And you're right, Joe. We'd had that in our back pocket for a long time, but all of the ladders were broken, and that's kind of the whole story of the match. We damaged all the ladders. We'd use them as weapons. We'd put people through them. They were all broken. And just like, hey, I think there's a cable ladder up there that they hang the lights with. Let me see if I can get it down. And that was the story of our match.
I loved it. I watched the entire event. I'm a wrestling fan. I watch them all, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA.
Right.
Plenty of indie events. Like Boston has chaotic, so many different events and guys who've come through here, right? Right now, everybody's talking about the John Cena tour. They were in Springfield this week, and so much is going on in this area. You guys will be in Lowell. A lot of good stuff happening in Lowell. I know you guys were at Songus Arena recently. It's where the event will be. They have a nice little memorial over there too. That's been a barn burner. But Boston has a huge roots to wrestling in general. We have tons of wrestling fans here. But, coming back to Boston for you guys, I know you kind of shared some stories at Kowloon where the wrestlers have been going for years, but do you guys have any other memories of being in the Boston area?
I mean, Boston is such a great wrestling city. It's one of the best wrestling cities. When I think about major cities in the U.S. that have great wrestling fans, Chicago pops in my mind, Boston pops in my mind, obviously New York, Madison Square Garden. But it really is. Boston is a great place to come. I love coming up here. And it is so cool and so fitting that we are doing in the Boston area this final match with the Dudleys, because it truly is. A lot of times in pro wrestling, something gets advertised and it's not final. It's not a finality, and this will be the very last one. And when it's all said and done, this is going to be the most emotional match in TNA history, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, listen, Dave, the history that you guys have. Now, Devon, I didn't know he's working his way back, huh?
Well, that's why we weren't sure if we were going to get this match or not, because he'd had some health issues. And he's worked through these things, and he's been cleared by the doctor. And I think these guys want to go out on the highest note they can possibly go out on. And I can't imagine a better scenario than one of your greatest rivals, who you had an iconic tag team tables match with in Madison Square Garden in Royal Rumble 2000, the Hardys. And we're going to do it one more time, man. It's going to be very, very special.
When me and Devon were hanging in that TLC match, that was the first and last time you'll ever see that, because he is never going to hang with me anywhere, any day, anytime. But yeah, what a memory that is for me. And just to be as active as we are now in TNA is such a blessing, man. And to work with these guys, they're our brothers, man. And we've created so many great memories over the years, man. It's going to be extremely epic and emotional.
Okay, I want to talk about TNA for a minute. Everyone's a professional, right? Like you guys have obviously been in so many different, whether it's WWE. I know Matt, did some AEW for a bit, but when you think of TNA, I think pros, right? I know you guys are going to be with Eddie Edwards, local guy, Peabody, a friend of mine, great dude. But when I think of the guys you go up against, they're all guys maybe that might be on the indie circuit, but Thursday nights, everybody's, the guys are having great matches, but you see these guys in different areas. How do you kind of come across how the finishes are going to happen or what you're going to do in this match? And, the one thing I love about TNA, there's storyline and wrestling. It's kind of hard to get all that these days. But how do you, since you're on the road so much and working with different people, how do you come up with some of these finishes?
We just try and be creative as possible. For instance, whenever we were talking about the Slammiversary match, we were trying to be creative and different. What can the Hardys do in the context of a ladder match, which is different, which is new, which is original? And we did that with the cable ladder. Speaking of Eddie Edwards, man, hugely underrated wrestler. He is one of the best I've ever been in the ring with. I loved getting in the ring with him and Brian Myers as a system. Eddie is truly one of the best professional wrestlers that has ever been in the business, and it's a shame he hasn't had like a huge run in the WWE or a major company on a huge platform. Eddie is so talented, so good. It's a blessing working with him every single time we do.
One thing I'll say about that, though, I kind of like the fact that maybe he hasn't had that type of opportunity. Like, you think he deserves the exposure, and he does. Mm-hmm. But in a way, I love him more because he hasn't, right? And,
yeah, I get that too. Yeah. I get that too.
And like Matt Cardona calls himself the indie god, and think about it. A lot of these guys have, they had their runs, went solo, went indie. Cody kind of went on his own, and look what happened with him. But even Drew McIntyre had to take a step back, and I wouldn't even call it a step back. I just think they reinvented themselves, right? So I look at what Cardona's done on the road as well. I just think putting all you guys together, you guys are pros, they do a lot of indie stuff. That's why I love watching TNA, because I know the guys, but what are they going to do tonight? You know what I mean? What is Jeff Hardy going to jump off tonight? What's he going to do? Which brings up my next question. It was funny. One of our producers in the back, I told him about the Santon bomb.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Was this something you guys did as kids? I know you guys did a lot of wrestling as kids, but where did that develop from?
It was a Japanese wrestler that would do the great Sasuke, I believe, and he would do a dive over the top rope to the floor all the time. But he had that grace within the flip, and that's where I saw that, and I was like, wow, that could be used in the ring as like a finisher. Even at first, it wasn't even a finisher. I would just do it as a cool move. But then Jim Ross, I'll never forget it, one day. I said, yeah, I think I want to call this flip the Swanton Bomb,
yeah.
because originally it was like a senton, I guess, and just add the swan in there for the grace that's within it. So yeah, and it just kind of became my thing. It all started on a trampoline, and I ended up in a WWE wrestling ring doing it as a finish. So it's pretty cool.
And now it is universally called the Swanton Bomb,
Yes.
which is so cool.
Which one hurt the most?
Oh man, they've all hurt. But my first
The ones I
run-
took.
yeah, all those. The first, the sketchiest swanton I've ever done in TNA when I did it over the stage. That was super terrifying and super dangerous.
Man, I don't know how you do it, bro, because I'm a large man. I don't know if I don't think I could ever do it. We've seen other guys try, though. What was the move Brock Lesnar tried to do? He missed against
The shooting stars.
Oh,
Shooting
God.
star press,
Like,
yeah.
just watching a big man do that, though, no. So you are made for it. We're with the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, here on 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston. We're the home of the Patriots, Celtics, and Bruins, so our listeners are big-time sports fans. You guys are from North Carolina, is that it, right?
Right, yes.
Thoughts on Bill Belichick taking over for North Carolina?
I'll tell you, man, the controversy around his girlfriend has almost created a more buzz than him being in North Carolina. We love that because we're both North Carolina guys. We're both Tar Heel fans. People are pretty split down there between. It used to be Tar Heel and NC State, the Wolfpack, and now it's North Carolina Tar Heels and Duke Blue Devils. But I went to UNC Charlotte, did time there. We're both in the system, and we both grew up Tar Heel fans. So I thought it was cool that Bill Belichick's there. It's just so interesting that he hasn't been off to a great start so far, but a lot of the buzz hasn't been about him being there as the head coach. It's been about him and his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, again, he was with the New England Patriots for 20-something years.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to look past what's going on with his girlfriend. The quarterback of the Patriots, Drake May, his family from the area as well, basketball family. He's the quarterback here. Have you guys ever had or passed ties with the May family or Drake May, the quarterback of the Patriots?
We have not. I do enjoy his work, though. Very talented.
Got to make that happen. I know a guy. I'm going to work on that one. Feel like we got to get you guys number 10 jerseys. Last night, NXT had an event, a throwback event, and many TNA wrestlers. And Matt, I know you were pretty vocal about it. I saw you on Twitter talking about this. I don't know what's kayfabe and what's not anymore. What I mean by that is storyline or not. But I
mean, that's sometimes a good thing, right?
it is, exactly. It's keeping us on our toes, right?
Yeah.
And the Seth Rollins incident, I think, was one that I don't know. I don't know how I felt about that. And you guys are in the business. What did you think about that? And to follow up with it, two NXT talents are battling over the TNA championship. How do you guys feel about that?
I loved the Seth Rollins thing. I think pro wrestling needs more of that. People. It's so weird. The whole concept behind pro wrestling is it is at its best when it's unpredictable, when you don't know what's happening next. And like people are so obsessed with knowing the backstage news or what's going to happen. Give me spoilers. Give me this. Give me that. Dude, when I go in to watch a movie or a TV show, I just watched Dexter Resurrection. I did not want spoilers. I wanted to watch each episode fresh with green eyes. I did not know what was going to happen. And I think pro wrestling is at its best when it takes you on that journey and you're not sure what's going to happen next. What's real? What's not real? Where does the line, where this line's very blurry. Where does it truly lie? And you don't know. I think that's what's great. So there were a lot of TNA wrestlers who were outspoken last night because all of the TNA roster, they want the TNA World Title to come back to the TNA roster. And a lot of us were very frustrated that it was going to be an NXT talent who currently holds that title wrestling another NXT talent. So we kind of called that out. A lot of people said it was BS. It's going to be interesting. I think TNA is at the point that they're fed up, and I think it's going to be all hands on deck. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a big battle going on between TNA and NXT in the coming months or weeks.
What do you think of that? Do you think that maybe I don't want to use the word invasion because that's been used before, but do you think that there will be a final result to that match, or could it lead to something different?
I'm with you, man. I don't know what's going on, especially with all the social media, man. I don't know what to believe and what to, I mean, it's crazy. I'm not as active as Matt is on social media, but yeah, I don't really understand all of this here in 2025. I'm just making my way the best I can.
This is the build, right? Like, this is what you guys knew about the business, right? You got to build it. Because listen, that Lowell is going to be sold out. I'm telling you,
no doubt.
And this is the build.
Yeah.
I know that maybe some of the talents don't like it, but the fact that we're talking about it right now on the highest rated radio station in the area,
Yeah.
Right.
that's going to get people out there. Like, so this was the business, right? Hype up a story to get asses in seats to watch the event.
And Joe, I'll tell you what. Sometimes the people who think they know the most about pro wrestling are the easiest to manipulate and work into it. Tissyfoot, because Trick Williams holding the TNA title ultimately got people talking like, "Oh my God, NXT." And WWE, they're just treating TNA like it's the stepchild. They're not giving it its rights. But see, we're also building a story where you want to see Mike Santana or you want to see a TNA original come and defeat him for that title. And that's what we're building. And once again, pro wrestling at the end of the day, sure, great matches, 5-star matches, great. Bangers, great, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about storytelling, following characters and their arcs, and wanting to see your guy get what his goal is ultimately. That is what pro wrestling is about. It's storytelling 101.
So I wanted to just mention this for our listeners. Matt and Jeff, you guys got a story, man. Like, obviously, you guys are brothers, but came up together, had your own little solo matches. Jeff went on a big-time career. Matt, you've done everything from writing, producing, to still wrestling at a high level. You guys have also faced a lot of adversity in your lives, and I think, I like to follow that. Like, for example, it's been used on screen before. So I wanted to ask you, Jeff, how did it feel when some of the issues you've had are used on screen? Is that something that you want the viewer to, follow and be part of that storyline? Is that tough for you to kind of go through that?
Back with the feud with CM Punk, I think it just made it that's what made it so special and so good. But then as I moved on in life and ran into more issues, it just, oh my God, it's like a lot of people like grow out of drugs and alcohol. I kind of like grew into it, I think, from just being at a young age when we made it in the WWE. But then I kind of just, oh my God, I almost ended my career and everything in 2022 from an alcohol abuse issue. And but that's one of the coolest things about winning the TNA Tag Team titles again. Is like, okay, I've built it back, not to burn it down. So it's nice to be on the other side. But yeah, it's tough, man. Just looking back at the past and knowing what people know, and I mean, I just do my best to live with no regrets and no predictions, man. I'm just so blessed to be on the other side, and I'm so grateful for my position in TNA. And whenever Jordan Grace showed up in TNA, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I'm exactly. I mean, NXT, when she showed up in NXT from TNA. I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be, and then I heard about the relationship with the WWE and all that stuff. I said, okay, cool, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. So I feel like that's where I am right now, and it's exactly the way it should be.
And you found music. I saw you a couple of times. You were in Dallas a couple of years ago. I went to an event, a little bit more of a metal show or a rock show. Yeah. But the event you guys did at the Kowloon, I thought it was great. Matt, you told stories about the history. Then Jeff comes in, does the music, and you shared a lot of your emotions. You talked about, how some songs were about your father and you guys' relationships or whatever. So if you get a chance to check out a Hardy Party, go see it, because you're going to get both sides of it. You're going to get the stories, but you're going to get the feeling side of it, and knowing how it is. And when you found music, man, I think it has kind of changed and given you a rebirth, I feel.
For sure. And it's been therapeutic for me, man, like writing these songs. And it's and now the Hardy Party shows we do, when I go out there for an hour with my buddy Jerry Massengill from North Carolina playing the guitar and singing original music, man, that's therapy for me. And it's kind of like an AA meeting for me. So I get a lot out of that. And it's very cool to be singing sober and fairly comfortable and confident in continuing to do so.
We're with the Hardy Boys. They're going to be at Bound for Glory. It's going to be at the Songus Arena. They're doing a media tour. They'll be at Fenway Park tomorrow, so hopefully you guys can bring some luck. I saw this thing you guys did regarding tattoos and how people have Hardy Boys tattoos. Mm-hmm. I mean, is this
It's a regular.
huge. Like I couldn't believe the amount of people that have it. But can you just talk about this? And again, you're into art. I know all that, but fans get the Hardy Boys tattoos, and it's like a real thing. This is like a club, a tattoo club.
That was a very small portion of the tattoos we've seen. That's like just some of those we have documented. It's wild because we've been so blessed to have such great longevity. We've been wrestling for 33 years. October the 15th, 2025, we'll be going into our 34th year doing this, which is wild. We've been on TV now for 27 years, pretty much straight. Starting with WWE when we debuted back in 1998. It's really wild to think that there are people now that are in their mid-30s that grew up as a child watching us. And we hear this all the time. Like, you inspired me. There was a moment, a match that you guys had when you guys had the tag team ladder match against Edge and Christian. I watched it with my dad, and we bonded over that, and that match changed everything. And then that took us to the TLC matches, and that took us to this and that. And we have such great fond memories of you. And they just want to share that experience with us. And they go, look, I want to show you this. And then they pull up their sleeve, and they have a big Hardy Boys emblem tattooed on them, our symbol. And it's just so cool. I can't think of a more flattering compliment than someone saying, hey, we got your symbol put on our body for life.
Yeah, we are that symbol. And the newest one, when I came up with the design of the infinity symbol being on the Hardy Boys symbol, I was like, oh, that's it. This is the last symbol. And we are that symbol. I think Matt's very close to getting his first tattoo, which will be the new Hardy Boy symbol with the infinity thing around it, but it'll be coming up out of his butt crack. A little bit of a tramp stamp, but not too much.
That's a good joke. He hits at a lot of Hardy parties.
That'd be it would be Wicked 90s too. That'd be like Wicked Extreme era right there. Speaking of the eras, when you guys came in, late 90s, the Attitude Era, Extreme Era is kind of what I call what you guys were in. Mm-hmm. You think about all the rivalries, right? You mentioned Edge and Christian. I just think of all the tag teams over the years. When you guys look at talent now, do you think there's still obviously you guys are brothers and we're together forever, but do you think the tag team divisions are still tight? I know you were at what was the SummerSlam? You guys were there, right? They had a big
yes.
And I actually enjoyed the match. The Wyatt Six. I didn't think they were going to win. They did. What do you think of the tag team divisions in all wrestling at this point?
We came around at a very opportune time because they had main eventers that were selling tickets like crazy. There was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. There was The Rock. There was Triple H, DX. All these guys were red hot. And Vince said, well, we don't have to worry about building these top guys because they're all built and we're selling out every show. Let's move down a little bit and let's focus on the tag team division. And we got these great opportunities. And he saw our skills, what we could do. We were going out having these amazing matches with inanimate objects, and that worked. The TLC match is a staple of pro wrestling now. It's weird because I don't think the tag team divisions in pro wrestling get quite as much attention as we did during that Attitude Era.
Yeah, I would somewhat agree with that, but I think it's almost like the hot tag's gone. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it sometimes when I watch it, they're trying to throw people together. The one that actually I am kind of interested in is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, right? Because are they friends? They're not friends, but I feel like they're building that. Maybe there'll be a turn at some point. I think Charlotte needs it. And, she's one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time, but at some point I think Becky Lynch might need it, right? And right now it's her and her husband getting in on the act. But when you're great, sometimes you need a change, right? Sometimes you need to change it up.
You have to. For instance, Walter White, Heisenberg, he was in 5 seasons of Breaking Bad and his character evolved and developed, but you can only change so much over a certain amount of time. Myself as Matt Hardy, I went for a certain amount of time and then I changed into a bad guy. And then there was a point where I went crazy and became broken Matt Hardy, and I've been big money Matt. You constantly have to evolve and freshen up your character. It's always about constant reinvention. And that's an important element in pro wrestling.
Can we talk about the broken universe? That was something, man. That's when I was like, Matt Hardy could be just a producer who writes, and you weren't done wrestling yet. I know that, but dude, man, Brother Nero, it was just, that was good. It is good.
Yeah.
I'm just, you ever think about, bringing it back?
All the time. And I think you're going to see more of that coming up. before too long, I think. And we've already got ideas about where to evolve the Hardys going forward to change things up, make things a little newer and fresher, and put a new fresh painted coat on both of us. And you have to constantly stay hungry. You have to stay passionate. You have to stay evolving.
I wanted to bring up Bray Wyatt. Obviously, you're a tag team partner with him. I'm sure you guys had the great match at the compound, which was awesome. When I think of Bray Wyatt, obviously it was in his blood, way before his time, right? Like his ideas and thoughts.
Absolutely.
But
A brilliant guy.
You guys were close with him. You were tagged with him. Like, what else can you say about Bray Wyatt?
I mean, he just had one of the most unique minds. Someone who it's hard and challenging to find guys who think outside the box, because a lot of times guys will think back in the past, like, well, this happened and this happened. Let me put a different spin on that, as opposed to just thinking of something completely new that's totally out of left field. Michael Hayes is someone who is great doing that, and we learned more from him than we have from anybody else in this pro wrestling industry. But Wyndham was very much like that. He was a very great critical thinker, and he could think outside of the lines. And I enjoyed my conversations with him. I feel like when me and him were a tag team, if Vince would have taken our advice and put us in more remote locations as opposed to just wrestling on TV, because we both wanted to be attractions. If we would have been Broken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, as attractions, I think we could have been so big at that time.
I think I read somewhere there was an unused stable pitch that he had. I think it was more like the house. He wanted to join House Hardy. Is that? Did I read this right?
No, you're right. He wanted to come join House Hardy and move to the Hardy compound. After he went into the Lake of Reincarnation, he was cleansed of Sister Abigail. Sister Abigail faded away and classified herself as obsolete. And he wanted to come, and all he wanted to bring with it, he just wanted to bring a little stick with a little handkerchief on it and a couple clothes and a monkey boy. He wanted to have an entertaining monkey boy with him. And then he wanted my kids, who were super young at that time, to be bullying him around, saying, no, you got to wash the car. You got to mow the yard. You got to earn your keep around here, earn some respect. And, and then literally like bond and become, a team with Broken Matt and Brother Nero.
I absolutely love that. Jeff, is it true that you had an opportunity potentially to be at WrestleMania this year to be Randy Orton's opponent?
No, I don't think that was anywhere close to happening. I would have loved to have done that. But
hey, you know how it works. The dirt sheets, right? People. Joe Hendry got the shot, and it was good. I was there. It was a pop. It was a big pop. But I don't know. When I heard that potentially Jeff Hardy could be there versus Randy Orton, I was...
Oh my God! There's a huge to hear that my theme music, No More Words hit. I mean, I think that's somewhere in the future, man, just waiting to happen, and I think everybody will like explode in happiness and joy, man, because that's such a good theme song and my favorite entrance music of all time. But back to Bray real quick. When I think about Bray and the Fiend, another cool thing about being in TNA is I have this alter ego named Willow.
Yep.
So that's kind of like my Fiend, and we're gonna see Willow reemerge in TNA sometime soon.
And you did the face paint too. The Fiend, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
How'd that start? I can't remember. When did you start wearing face paint?
Oh, I think back in my 08 and 09, I started wearing it, and it's got so much better since back then. It was terrible compared to the way it is now. It's just I go all out with it. And then 2012 was when I started painting the eyes on my eyes, and I was like, okay, this is my thing. This is what I do. But yeah, when I did tribute for the Fiend, I just recently started doing teeth on my lips for the first time in forever. And I said, I think I could do like a Fiend mouth on this, since I'm going to give it a try. And it sure enough worked out. So I've done it a few times since then, man, but it looks really cool. My face paint's evolved to a great level, man. I'm so proud and still get so much joy out of doing that.
And you do it yourself?
I do it all myself.
Wow.
Man. Yeah.
Now, did other guys do it? Like Sting? I'm just trying to think of other guys
Sting's always
who
done his own.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think that does separate you from Sting, that you paint your eyelids and you close your eyes. It's a very notable thing that you do. It separates you from all the other guys that are painting their faces.
You guys mentioned Michael Hayes. Love him. Great guy. Great for the business. Are there any people that are big, huge influences of yours that maybe you don't talk about? Because I've heard you talk about Michael Hayes a bunch, but are there other guys that maybe influenced you that you never like, man, I guess I never thought about how influenced I am from that person?
Macho Man Randy Savage is the first guy that really got me hooked on pro wrestling, because Jeff and I, we were big baseball players back in the day. We played t-ball and coach pitch, and our dad coached us for a while, and we really wanted to be pro baseball players at first, until we discovered pro wrestling. These guys who were living, breathing superheroes. And Macho Man Randy Savage was a guy that really turned me on to pro wrestling. I was like, wow, this guy has this crazy over-the-top robe, and his persona is, off the charts. And on top of that, his finishing maneuvers and flying elbow off the top rope. It's super exciting. So he was my first guy and turned me on to pro wrestling.
How about you, Jeff?
Oh yeah, it was like the Sting and the Ultimate Warrior from both wrestling worlds back then, NWA and WWE, WWF, and but it's so cool that I know Sting. We were just talking last week at a convention about like Life Now and face paint and all that stuff. But yeah, I never got to meet the Warrior, man. That's one thing I kind of wish I would have got to meet him. I was close to doing it at some point, but never actually met him. But Sting and the Ultimate Warrior inspired me to paint my face for sure.
Love that. It is Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, the Bound for Glory. It's going to be on October 12th, Songus Arena in Lowell. And you guys will be at Fenway Park tomorrow. So I hope they let you in the Monster Man. And you guys video.
Yeah,
I hope
too,
you guys can both like just right on it. And then there's the pole in right field too, the pesky pole. Maybe they can let you down here. Any other Hardy parties? Anything else going on in between before the big event in Lowell?
Yeah, we have. I know we have coming up October 17th or 18th, the weekend after that. We have a big Hardy party in San Antonio, Texas. That
There
we're
you
doing.
go.
And we piggyback a lot of those off Comic Cons we're at. Those things have been really fun for us to do, and it's a great chance to interact with a lot of diehard fans who haven't had the chance to get out and meet us or interact with us. And it's also a little bit more of a laid-back setting where we can actually talk and share experiences and whatnot.
And we got a real big one November 22nd in Times Square, man. So that's going to be huge for us, for the Hardy Party to be in New York City, man. It's going to be awesome.
I feel like you guys could do like some terror cons, because
We did one last week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could be a niche because people who go to that are fans and, the makeup. And I just feel like you guys kind of have that with the Hardy compound. Nice little, collaboration with other people that love the terror.
Yeah, I painted my face on the Saturday, and sure enough, I got a picture with the main actor from that. What's the name of that movie? The Saw movies.
Oh, cool.
That's the puppet, and I did the little swirls on my cheeks, a little tribute to that puppet from that movie, and got a picture with him, and it was crazy cool.
I'm excited to see what you'll be wearing in Lowell. At Bound for Glory. Just a couple more things, guys, before we let you go. I've gone to wrestle. I spend a lot of money in wrestling, and I love to go. I love to support the guys, but I really geek out. It's something I like to do. I can go to sporting events whenever I want, but wrestling, I never know what's going to happen. It's kind of a thrill. WWE is going to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania. I don't think I'm going to be going. And it's more about the financial part of it. Do you ever think that this is why I like TNA and other events and indie events, because you go for the wrestling, and they're priced fine. What I like about your Hardy Party is when people go, they'll get a chance to talk to you guys. They can sign an autograph. It's an intimate experience. Mm-hmm. It's not overpriced by some other big time, venue promotion or whatever. But do you feel like maybe that could get lost with some WWE fans? And maybe could raise the floor for some of the other promotions that are a little bit less expensive, but just as entertaining and good.
It's going to be interesting to see how sustainable it is, because I know they're into making money right now, and I get it. It's a business, and if you have a business, you want to make money. Obviously, that's the goal, right? Capitalism, and they're definitely focusing on that, but. I do dig that like TNA has very affordable prices. You can bring your family out, enjoy a great night of wrestling, and you see a ton of wrestling, and you get to see a bunch of stars there too. And just like you said, not only do we have great matches, I feel like we have very entertaining stories as well and entertaining characters.
That's why I watch. I want to know what Jeff's going to jump off of. I want to know who you're going to, who you're going to twist the face. I want to know all these things. But
there's one thing in this tables match with Team 3D. At Bound for Glory, I'm going to do something I've never done in wrestling before, and it's super extreme. So look out for that.
We call that a big market tease.
Hey, there we go.
We got to put asses in seats. again, October 12th, Songus Arena, Bound for Glory. I'm going to be there, guys. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a great time. And are you guys going up against the Nemeths soon? Did I see that, or did you guys already wrestle these guys?
Tomorrow night. It'll be on tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah, well, brothers versus brother action, huh?
Brothers versus brothers, yes. I mean, it's finally that, those guys, it was challenging to get them into a match and actually get them to have a fair competitive match, but we did, and we're going to delete the Nemeths tomorrow.
Love that. The delete is one of the best. It still goes, right?
It still goes.
People are still doing it.
Still going crazy with the delete, man. And I do have one grievance to air. Whenever we did our NXT run earlier this year, myself and Jeff, we put our TNA World Tag Team titles on the line against Fraxium. But Fraxium didn't put theirs on the line against us, and we actually beat them. So I still think I think we have earned and we deserve a NXT Tag Team title shot.
Good point.
Dirt Sheets, you heard it here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, the Joe Murray Show. Quote, they deserve a rematch and a title shot. Mm-hmm. So we'll make that one go viral. Guys, really appreciate you hanging out. It's going to be a great week in Boston, Fenway Park tomorrow. What else you guys got going on?
We're hitting everywhere. We're doing radio, we're doing TV, we're doing podcasts. We're all over, man. We're covering Boston.
I appreciate you
trying
guys.
to break a record on October 12th.
Sure. I just told all of my friends.
Yeah,
thank you.
Got to go see the Hardy Party.
Thanks for having us on too.
Jeff and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys, one of the best tag teams of all time. They'll put their titles up against the Dudley Boys, also one of the best of all time, for the final time in Lowell, Massachusetts, Songus Arena. Guys, really appreciate it. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.